I'm Dan. Welcome to Make Fix Build. Let's make an arcade cabinet. Well, let's make a small piece of a larger arcade cabinet project. Gotta do it a piece at a time, because I've got kids. I've been working on this project for about a year and a half, 2 years, just in my spare time here and there. And I first designed it in SketchUp, just kind of threw some ideas together because I had three goals for this. I really need to plan out ahead of time. One, I wanted to fit as much of it as possible on one sheet of plywood. And two, I wanted it to be variable height. So I didn't want it to just be a sitting or a standing. I made this one actually, it can be three different heights. It can be sitting, bar stool height, or it can be standing. So sitting in a regular chair, sitting in a bar stool, or standing. The third is I wanted it to be a 4-player console. And yeah, I think I accomplished all those things. And I think it'll be fun for my kiddos to enjoy when they're just a little bit older. They're both still in diapers right now. And so, yeah, they're not really into the arcade cabinet thing yet, but they're getting close. This is what I have so far. This is kind of what it looks like. And there's two different pieces. I have the main cabinet, and then I have the riser. And the riser is what enables you to get the different heights. So there's one height with just the main cabinet sitting on the floor. The second height is with a riser in one orientation. And then if you flip the riser over, it's kind of like, have you ever seen those kids' seats at a restaurant where you flip them over, they're a different height? It's kind of like that. You flip the riser over, you can sit the cabinet on top of it, and it's a different height. So on the floor, in mid-range for bar stool height, and then all the way up at the top, close to the top of the riser, is the standing height. The main cabinet and the riser are both cut out of one sheet of plywood. It's about 18 millimeters thick. It's 3/4 inch plywood, and it had one face that had a finishable wood on it. It's a birch wood. So I decided to stain it and put a little poly on it. So that main structure is all one piece of plywood. And that's pretty cool because it reduces cost. And it was just a fun puzzle to figure out. And then what I do is I have a second piece of plywood, but it's just 1/4 inch plywood, and that's what's gonna go it's gonna kind of skin it, like on the front and the back and the top. And that's a whole lot less expensive than a whole other piece of plywood, and it's lighter. And so this whole thing is a lot less expensive, a lot easier to move around. I'm not sure how it's gonna feel yet, so we'll just have to wait and see when it's done to see if this is a good idea, but it's a fun puzzle. One thing I forgot to mention was the control panel. This control panel is cut from the same piece of plywood as the base and the main cabinet. So it's actually three of these main pieces that are all cut from the one sheet of plywood. Good times. My next goal is to finish the front panel. And the front panel, it's gonna go right there. It's gonna have a coin door in it, because it's an arcade cabinet, you need a coin door. Since I'm not using the 3/4 inch plywood all the way around, that front panel is going to be the 1/4 inch stuff. That's about 5 millimeters thick. And so the coin door is made for the 3/4 inch, and I'm using 5 millimeter. So what I need to do is stack that 5 millimeter. So 3 pieces of that 1/4 inch will make it thick enough for me to use the coin door. And so with the leftover scrap that I have from the pieces that I've cut out of the 1/4 inch, I had plenty left over to layer it up and put the coin door in. So that's what I need to finish doing today. So here's the finished, the 5 millimeter ply. It's nice and thin. 1/4 inch for those of us in the US, 5 millimeters for anybody who wants to use metric, because, well, I designed this whole thing in metric because metric's easier. I'm just going to kind of guess as to where I want to put the coin door. I've already have 2 pieces laminated, boop, but I need a third layer that's not yet laminated on there, and that's what I need to glue today. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to cut out the 2 pieces I have first, and then I'm going to use the coin door to hold the freshly glued pieces together. This way I can use the action of the coin door installation to hold all of the pieces together that I'm gluing. So there we have it. Thanks for joining me. If you want to see more videos, you can click the subscribe button and then the little notification bell if you want to get notified about them. That's it. I'm Dan from Make Fix Build, and I say, go make something.